Well, hello everyone. Welcome to a very special episode of the End of the Island with me, Fergus Mainland, and we are just about as close as we have ever actually been to the end of the island, just a few hundred metres away. And I am delighted to be here, just next to the WinTech and King tent, with Sam Tuck from Molesey Boat Club and Jim Lister from Colgate University. Gentlemen, it's wonderful to have you here. We've managed to seek refuge, find some shade, get out of the sun, because it's a hot one today, isn't it, Jim?
It kind of reminds me of being back home in upstate New York. We've had a long winter, and we couldn't ask for better weather here.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And Sam, it's amazing how quickly Henley Women's Regatta rolls around each year, because it seems just a few days ago that we were standing on the banks of the Tideway for women's side of the river.
It really catches you off guard. We were thinking about this a couple of weeks ago. You get out of Weehawken, and then it's Wallingford Regatta, and then all of a sudden Henley Women's is literally 4 weeks away, 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away. So yeah, it flies round, and then all of a sudden it's on you, and it's up and running. Henley season's up and running.
It certainly is. And what have the past few months been like for Molesey? What's it entailed?
It's been really good. We're really pleased with our winter's racing, winter training. We've got some really exciting projects up and running through the summer. We've got it's really cool to have some new sculling projects to focus in on, and with the new events, and that's something that we're trying to get stuck into as well. But all going well, all ticking over really well coming into this weekend, and then Henley Royal next week.
Fantastic. Well, for Molesey, it's about an hour or so drive to get you to Henley. For you guys at Colgate, Jim, it's something completely different, isn't it?
Yeah,
crossing the Atlantic.
Yeah, 6,000 miles is what I've heard. It's been a project that we've been working on for the last 2 years. It's been 26 years since our team has competed here at Henley. But we had a rower. She rowed at Tideways, and she mentioned it two years ago. Came up to me and said, "Hey, Coach, it'd be great to row at the Henley someday." And so we've been working on it ever since then. And here we are with 2 8s competing. Had a good day. 1 8 moved on. The second 8 had a good go. Yes, only 16 crews out of 34. It was a steep field.
I can imagine. And what goes into organising a trip like this?
Certainly fundraising. Bringing 2 8s is a lot of people to plan for plane tickets, places to stay, equipment to rent. And we've been really fortunate to have tremendous support from our parents, our alumni, many of them who are here this weekend. Just a tremendous effort from everybody to help us get here.
Amazing. Well, 2 8s for Colgate. Sam, what's the Molesey flotilla looking like for this year's regatta?
I think we've got 45 athletes racing.
Wow.
And that's spread between 3 8s, 3 4s, 2 or 3 quads, and some small boats in there as well, which is really exciting for us. It's kind of whilst we're really enjoying trying to take on the performance side of rowing, also having athletes that can just come and compete and building year on year, and having more athletes here racing for Molesey for us as a coaching team is just as exciting. It really makes us proud of our growth over the last few years and building in. And I think we've actually got 55 entered into Henley Royal, so kind of numbers are going to increase again a little bit into Henley Royal. So lot of management, but a lot of excitement, but also lots of just awesome athletes and people spread between all the boats. So it's been a real joy to get the squad ready over the last couple of months into this weekend and next weekend.
And what impact have the new sculling events had on how you've shaped your squad and shaped your programme this year?
I don't think we've done, in terms of the programme, I don't think we've done anything fundamentally different. We have a group of athletes that I would say prefer and have enjoyed sculling typically more over the last few years, and over the last few years, whilst they've enjoyed sculling, they've tended to end up in sweet boats come the summer events. Certainly from a club point of view, from the club events point of view, you can kind of scull through winter, but if there's just the Wargrave available at Club Women's 8s and they want to do well, we've kind of ended up being targeting those events. Program-wise, we haven't changed. We've just had a group that we said, okay, we'll probably keep you sculling a little bit longer through the winter, keep the singles going out a little bit longer, and then build some quads through the summer, which is exciting. I think, to be honest, if you look at the events through the summer, both Wallingford Met and here anyway, you can see what it's done to quads, women's quads events. Like, the entries are brilliant, the depth is unreal. So already it's had that effect across the board.
And Jim, when you come across to Henley this year, how does that factor into your preparation and planning throughout the season? Because it's been a few weeks since the US season finished, hasn't it?
Yeah, we finished May 15th at our Patriot League Championships, and we knew that we had a good gap in between. Some NCAA rules preclude us from training right from that race. We do get to spend 10 days with the team training before we come abroad, and we got a chance to do that in Syracuse, New York, where we got to row on the local lake and the river system. Rented a house there, so we kind of got the trip going a little bit, at the beginning of our time together, and then we've been here for 2 weeks now.
Amazing. And I imagine you can't bring your boats across,
Yeah.
so that must be one of your biggest logistical challenges. Finding and sourcing boats and sorting all of that out.
Yeah, certainly. That was a big concern. We enjoy rowing the King Racing Shells, and for your athletes, you want them to row the same equipment. And one of our rower who helped us get here and said, "Oh, well, we can find some at the different clubs. Like clubs will loan you boats." And I was like, I don't want just loan boats. I want to be in the boats that we're used to racing in. So I reached out to the King team here, and they said, we got some new boats for you to rent. So we've been really grateful to have 2 new racing shells to be able to compete in. So we pretty much took the numbers from our equipment back home and just applied them here and haven't missed a beat.
Fantastic. And Sam, we've got Colgate here, but you guys made the trip across to Head of the Trials at the beginning of the season and had similar sort of arrangements and logistical challenges, I imagine.
Yeah, we had an awesome trip to Boston in October, and again built up a relationship with King. Borrowed 2 of their shells there. We had great fun on and off the water, some really good results, but were thoroughly looked after from that point, and we'll definitely be returning again next year.
Fantastic. Have you got your entry already in and sorted for this year?
All sorted.
All sorted. Going back out. Fantastic. And Jim, when you look around Henley and Henley Women's, I mean, the racing's fantastic, but what else are you guys hoping to get out of this trip?
Sure. We purposefully planned a couple excursion days, both for the coaches and the athletes, and we've all kind of gone in different ways. I think the first day everybody went into London and did the sightseeing there. We went over to Windsor Castle
Nice.
for the day. And just the other day, we had lunch at one of our rowers' houses over in Wimbledon and got to see the area around there. So we certainly wanted to take advantage of just a different culture, different food. It's been a great trip for us. So yeah, there's been so many highlights that we're just gonna need some time to reflect back on it because it's just been such a wonderful trip.
Yeah. Have you got any tourist recommendations for people whilst they're in London, Sam?
Yeah, Molesey Boat Club. If you can come and have dinner, come and have lunch with us, and we'll take you to our cafe upstairs, and you can come on our stretch. You're welcome anytime.
Fair. Yeah, you're welcome to Colgate anytime when you come to the US.
Awesome.
Yeah, five-star trip advisor, Molesey Boat Club. Yeah, it's good. You've got one of your rates is through racing. What are you hoping for out in the water this weekend?
Yeah, certainly. I out of 34 crews, everybody wants to go a little bit faster, right?
Yeah.
And have live for another day. And so I think when I came over to the WinTech King tent, they said great start, and I was just like thinking, boy, I just got to the finish line and qualifying for the next day. But it just makes you think, yeah, we want to keep going. Let's keep competing. So this boat's a really special group of rowers that has 5 seniors in it. They've had a great successful year, and we just want to keep it going as long as we can. At some point they're going to say goodbye to each other, and we hope that that may come on Sunday.
Yeah. And a similar sort of question to you, Sam. A massive event, Henley Women's. We're just over a week away from Henley Royal as well. What are the ambitions and expectations for this weekend's racing?
It's hard to tell. I think our boats are going fast. I think in all the events, the depth is inspiring. To be honest, there's nothing out there where you're not going to face fierce competition at every angle from multiple different clubs. So at the moment, we're using this weekend to get back to one-on-one racing, that different aspect of that, get back between the booms and just try and develop through the weekend. And I've spoken to the athletes about growing through this weekend. We know what's coming up in a week and a half's time, but we can go one race at a time this weekend and see how we end up on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, Jim, there must be a sense of familiarity for your crews when you line up in the middle of the booms and you just one opposition next to you. I imagine it's quite similar to what you have during some of your duels and match racing in the US.
Early on in the season,
Yeah.
we start to see some of the smaller races, but then we start to work up into the larger regattas, and that's something that we try to move towards, and just have that familiarity of lining up with 6 boats across. I think the challenge for us in the States is winter is still, with us, and when we did do a dual race at Cornell University on their course, so we got that dual racing experience, but it was also in 25-degree weather Fahrenheit. I'm not sure what that is for.
It's sub-zero.
Cold.
Really cold. I actually can't express how cold it is on
It's
this
very
podcast.
cold.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a cold one. But again, that was probably the last time we've done dual
Okay.
racing.
Yeah.
So for us, we're gonna have to talk about that tonight, and just what that rabbit and fox kind of chase feels like, and just get that mindset ready for us to have that battle with the teams that we line up with. So we're looking forward to some dual racing, and again, I think a lot of the dual racing happens early on. I think there's a lot of jockeying that you got to be ready for. I think there's not enough runway in a 1,500-meter race to try to change the trajectory. So we're going to have to be ready to go at the beginning.
Fantastic. So it's Saturday. It's tomorrow. Your side-by-side racing kicks off. Have you got any side-by-side stuff today?
Yeah, we've already had one race.
Already had it.
Our aspirational Club 8 has already raced, and they're through to tomorrow in their King Shell. In their King Shell.
Yeah.
And then we've got a quad about to race, and this evening we've got a quad and 2 more races in the Ron Needs Champ 8 racing. So we've got 4, 5, and the 2 4s. We've got 6 more races yet. So we've got a long Friday evening to come.
Well, you raced the King Shell out at the Head of the Charles, racing it again here just now. I mean, the athletes must be so accustomed to how it feels. What's it like for them out in the water?
Yeah, they really like it. The feedback, I whenever we test out a new shell, I kind of let the athletes give me the feedback. They're the athletes that are in. They row it. They know, and certainly some of our athletes have years and years of experience. And the feedback straight away was, this is a really nice boat. We like having this. We were lucky to get in a shell 2 weeks out from Head of the Charles, so we were lucky. We tested one there, and they went to Head of the Charles. And used an identical shell up there, really enjoyed it. And now we're using the Cobras in the quads events as well, and we've kind of been testing them out the last 2 weeks and really enjoying using them. So again, most of I'm not rowing in them, but the feedback from the athletes is really, really positive, certainly from what I see from the outside and how they travel through the water. I'm really impressed.
Fantastic. And Jim, you're one of a number of American crews who are racing here this weekend. When you travel over and compete, is there like a Team USA kind of feel, or is it very much is it Team Colgate?
Oh no, we're cheering for all the U.S. crews. We see them back home. We're familiar with their coaching staff. I think there's a camaraderie. This morning our rowers heard from the Bates men's team was here cheering them on, and it's great to have that support. If we see a U.S. crew out there, we're gonna cheer for them.
Give them a big cheer. Awesome, great stuff. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today. It's enormously appreciated. You can stay as long as you want under the tent and away from the shade.
This is a nice place to sit.
We've done well.
We've got a bit of a breeze and some shade.
Yeah, but I appreciate there's racing still to go, there's recovery and everything to crack on. So thank you very much for stopping by. That's all we've got time for on today's very special episode of The End of the Island. But our Henley women's coverage will be continuing all weekend with racing wrap-ups coming on Saturday and Sunday. But for now, that'll bring an end to today's episode. Thank you so much to Sam and Jim for joining me. I will see you next time at The End of the Island.